Hello, my darlings. I'm Lady Zelda with True Oracle Tarot. And today we're going to be finding out what he told his buddies about your breakup. I mean, what is he talking about? What is he telling? Is he telling the truth or is he telling a fabricated part of the truth? Whatever the case may be, we're going to be finding out the answers for you today. Now, before you see, and let me move these up just a little bit for you, you're going to see 3 piles of decks. This is number 1, number 2, and number 3. You're going to ultimately choose one deck, but if you want to choose multiples, you're more than welcome to. This is a collective reading for all signs, and let's get into it. So what we're going to do first, and I would suggest before you pick, these are Cartomancy decks on top of tarot. So what we're going to do is get a foundation as to where this is going. So for the first tarot deck, we're going to be putting out this first card, and it is the Two of Hearts. The second deck, very beautiful, on top of this tarot, is the Three of Clubs. Putting that to the side. Now, for this final deck, this final tarot, we have the card, the Joker. Now, I would suggest now is the time that you choose. Whichever deck you choose is fine. And you know what? If you just want to choose all and you want to, if you're here for the reading, I'm here for you. We're going to be finding out some truth. So let's do this. We're going to take number 1 first. This is number 2 and number 3. So we're going to lay number 2 to the side. And we're going to lay number 3 to the side. Over here. We're going to find out exactly what's going on. So now this is setting our foundation. This is setting the precedence. So we're asking spirits, guides, and angels. And there are 2 cards that fell out right away. We have this Swords card, the 7 of Swords. And we have this amazing, you see this? That's a Page of Wands. Now we're asking, pardon me, I'm so sorry. We're asking spirits, guides, angels to give us an indication of what happened. There is a 3 of Wands, lots of fiery, a Knight of Wands. So what is he telling? A lot of wands. So a lot of fiery exchange. So with this, he is acknowledging that you had a relationship with him. He is acknowledging that you were together. That is the good thing. But I do want to look into these. We're going to move these down just a little bit and arrange these so you can see them. This is him making the announcement that he had been thinking about doing this for a while. Now, in all fairness, this is not to hurt your feelings, but I think the truth is definitely something that we need to hear at one time or another. He thought he was just really going to get away with it. He thought he was just going to come in and in fact, if you chose this pile, and if this person would do everything they could to try and provoke an upset or argument or anxiety, it was so you would break up with him and he could walk away and not feel anything about it. So what he's telling is his friends that he made a choice and it was all about timing. He wanted to put this plan into action. He knew that it was going to cause some problems and some upset with you. He didn't want to do that. He genuinely did care about you. But he made a choice. And it was his decision. And he wanted to move on. He felt that there was much more ahead of him, that there were more ideas, possibly even more people out there. I've just got to say this. In the long run, my darling, if you pick this pile and you're resonating with this, he did you a favor. And as much as you may love him, as much as you felt that he cared, he does care about you, and he did care about you. It's just that he was ready to move on. And that's right there, the story, the Six of Swords. And you know, swords are communication, they're air elements. He, bottom line, just really wanted to move on. He felt that maybe there was too much upset, maybe that he was not ready for a commitment. He knew that you were, but maybe he just felt that there was not enough and he needed time. You didn't want him to have time, and I don't blame you. I think you've been together with him for a while. So he just really wanted to pack up and move to what he felt was much calmer seas. Definitely he felt the grass is greener on the other side. Now, here's the good part. Will you hear from him again? Yes, you will. Will he be sorry that he did what he did when he did it? Yes. Were his friends encouraging him to do this? Yes, they were. And it's very unfortunate because his friends encouraged him, but after it happened, I don't believe his friends really felt that he would do it. And then after it happened, they all sort of kind of backed up a little bit. So if this sounds like something that resonates with you and that what you are going through with this particular relationship, I'm so sorry, because these things I know really, really, really do hurt. I'm going to draw you another Cartomancy card and see where now this is going. I think you've thought about these things before, and I think that you have the confirmation, or you did. Yes, this is him. And he was, even though if he was older than you, he acted very immature. He felt there was more out there. Now, will he come to his senses? Yes. This is an indication that he will, and there will be a time that he will contact you. He may even try to return. Be cautious and watch for Mercury retrogrades in 2025, because if he tries to return during that time period, it won't last. No matter what you do, if he comes back during that time, now I'm going to say 9.5 times, 9 3/4 times out of 10, it doesn't last. So be cautious. Don't let your heart be fooled. Make him work for you. Now, has he moved on? To a bit. But my darling, that doesn't mean that you can't move on as well, because at this juncture, I feel that when he does come back, there's a great possibility. There's a lot of energy here. There's a great possibility, yes, that you could be with someone else. And this someone else will be much more inclined to commit with you. He will not be all talk and no show. He is stable. He is someone who has been looking for someone like you for quite some time. So there is something going on here, my darling, that is brewing with you. And I want you just to know this is not the end of the world. However, it will feel like the end of the world for him when he tries to come back and you're with someone else. So I want you to look forward to this time, my darling. And I don't want you to be sad, because you have to know the truth. What did he tell his friends? I think his friends were more telling him, but he told his friends he did it. He was ready to move on. He made the leap. He made the jump. And again, his friends didn't believe it, but they certainly do now. It's all about timing now from when he will return. Be cautious. Be cautious of his return. I know you love him. I know you do. But at the same time, I just want you to know that as time goes on, you're going to see the real truth about him. And this person will be definitely your knight in shining armor. I hope that helps you, my darling. This is pile number 1. Stay tuned for pile number 2. So there, if you chose pile number 2, this reading is for you. So what was he telling his friends about your breakup, after your breakup? What was going on? This 3 of clubs sets the tone because it was his idea that there was not enough money to keep up with entertainment with you. Let's see. Let's see what is really going on here. We're asking spirits, guides, and angels to give us a better indication of what was happening. So if you chose pile number 2, this is for you. I think I said pile number 2. I hope I didn't say pile number 1. It is pile number 2, my darlings, if you're watching. Here we go. First card. Oh yeah, there's the breakup, and he announced it immediately when it happened. That star card indicates that there may be some Aquarian energy. You don't have to be an Aquarius. The sun is coming in. Isn't that beautiful? You don't have to be an Aquarian for that to resonate. It can be the energy. And this happens to be a Scorpio. So, regardless of signs or not, we're going to read this. My darling, money seemed to be an issue. And with that being said, this Tower card basically describes that it fell apart. There had been some rumblings in the relationship, in the foundation of your relationship. However, I believe that you did try. You did all you could to know what was happening. And then from what I'm seeing, it's almost that he gained silence. He became withdrawn. You felt something was up. You went to him. You asked him to please tell you what was happening. Can you make it better? There was balance that you needed in the relationship. You needed confirmation. You needed him to confirm to you that, yes, everything was fine, no breakup. In fact, I even believe that he denied a little bit of a breakup with you. But at this point, I'm wondering if the feeling was not mutual because it did not look like he was participating in this relationship. Not at this point. That bothered you. I think you, from what I'm seeing there, pardon me, Kitty is playing in the background. There, you needed a commitment and it just wasn't happening. Not the way you wanted. There, I think finances were an issue because you wanted a commitment. You wanted more. You wanted to get maybe a home, maybe a car, maybe even a puppy together. But there was no commitment, no confirmation on his end. It is though he was receiving some outside influence to do what he did or to tell what he did about the breakup. Now, this world card, I'm sorry, it is a Wheel of Fortune card, but it is a card in which it felt like he was telling the world. But what he was telling was not the true story, and that's what a big part was upsetting. It seemed like his story changed with the wind, and then every time you would hear about it, it was very unsettling. What he told his friends were that he wasn't ready for a commitment, he wasn't ready for house buying, he wasn't ready for the financial commitment. In fact, What he was not ready for was that responsibility, that traditional responsibility that you may have asked for, that he be the head of the household, that he helped pay the bills. And unfortunately, that didn't seem like it was his idea of what was happening. The death card. Now, there's no one going to be passing away, but this is telling of an abrupt ending. But it's temporary as far as the feelings are concerned, because there's a new beginning that happens right after this for you, my darling. You see the flag that little fellow is holding on his little horsey, prancing around there? That is a card, a harvest card, meaning you reap what you sow, meaning there is karma coming for him. If he hurts you, and this is something that I know that he did. Look at the sun coming in and bathing you in the warmth today while you're reading this. Isn't this beautiful? I'm reading this by my window, and it is just giving you a ray of new hope. And that's exactly what you have, because, my darling, if you're seeing this, you are not going to be alone forever, and I don't want you to feel that you will. This 10 of Spades, I know that you're depressed. I know that this was something that really hurt your feelings and hurt you. Especially when you heard the stories that he was telling, and especially when it seemed like he was telling his buddies the truth about not wanting to be responsible financially and have that commitment. Of course that hurts. Of course. The ending was something that really hurt you. But my darling, look at this. This Ace of Hearts, this tells me that 2025 will be this year. If you are seeing this outside of 2025, when you are seeing this, I'm going to tell you by the fall, because it is February 2025 right now while I'm reading this. In fact, it is February 21st. You will be in a new relationship and happy. This is a very loving time, and I know what you're going to say. Oh my gosh, but Zelda, that just seems so long. No, it doesn't, my darling. Because I want you to know, first of all, the fall of the year is in September. We are in February. You know what this does? This gives you time to heal, time to work through, time to maybe even raise your standards a little bit so you don't have to go through this. And I'm not pulling you any shade because, my darling, we've all been there, but you don't want to go through this again. It is important for the financial aspect, because you know what? Love don't pay the rent. And that's something that he was deep down expecting you to do, and he discussed it with his buddies. This is a particular card of education. And I'm not talking about formal university education. I'm talking about the education that comes with a breakup like this. Learning what happened so you don't repeat it again. That's exactly what you're going to be doing, my darling, because I'm going to tell you, in the fall of this year, you're going to be flying high. Definitely flying high. And there, my darling, is the king that you will be flying high with. He will be coming in when you can come to terms with things that had happened in this relationship, this previous relationship, where he went to his friends and told a bunch of stories. Believe me, this card indicates that there were quite a few stories that versions of the stories that he told. You want someone who is mature, who is the king. And this is an invitation to you, my darling, to now claim the king. Claim the king over your life. He will come to you. You will find him. But it's time for you to heal. But I want to encourage you that, my darling, in the end, you will have that happy home. You will have that ability to travel, and you will have a responsible man who does not want to go and gossip with his buddies and tell him everything that's going on, because that is a sign of immaturity. He also wants family, home, and just good stability. He brings a lot of stability to the table. There will be no more upsets and no more reaping what he sowed, because you know what? This guy is stable, and that is exactly what you need. So don't worry about what this current or just recent past fellow has done. You look forward to the future. You focus on you, because you know what? Doing well is the best thing that you can ever do. I wish you all the best, my darling. Thank you for watching number 2. I'll be right back with number 3. Welcome, my darlings, to pile number 3. Thank you for being here. We're going to see exactly what your ex, what this man told his friends about your breakup. This card is a huge, great big indication about him. This Joker card carries the meaning of hidden secrets, of many things that he had been hiding, and he had been hiding them from you. Let's see now what we can find out and ask the cards. Here we are. 1. 6 of Cups. Now these are beautiful cards, and I know that you're going to love this choice for you, my darling. All is not lost. Forewarned is forearmed. You have to know what somebody's telling, right? That's why you're here. All right, so let's start picking some cards. So we have the 6 of Cups, the Fool card, the 5 of Pentacles, the 10 of Wands, and the Page of Cups. This is telling a big story, my darling, and the story is this. You were the one in the relationship that was the giver. He tried a little. It's not no blame on him, but he tried a little bit. But unfortunately, you were the one who was constantly bringing in, solving issues, resolving things, standing behind him, even resolving things for him. Sadly, there was not this give and take, this stability of the give and take. It was more one-sided, and I believe that was you were the giver. Now, what was he telling his brothers? Could be, but his buddies is what I meant to say, but could be, hey, his brothers could be his buddies too, right? Well, first of all, this is the Fool card. Was he a little foolish? Okay, but he's not going to admit it. What he was telling was that it was just his time to move on. He wanted a fresh start. He wanted to start over. He wanted to rise from the ashes like the phoenix, and he just wanted to wipe the slate clean. There was really no other explanation, because he knew that if he basically said he wanted you to be the giver in all of this and take over things so he could just be comfortable and maybe even skate through your relationship, his buddies wouldn't have liked that, because I believe that his buddies have a certain air, a certain round of responsibility. This is him and the 5 of Pentacles. Now, the 5 of Pentacles comes with a recognition that there's not enough. And it doesn't only mean money. It could be that he did not have enough emotion to give. He didn't have enough, really, to give you of anything. Sadly, the only remedy that he saw in this was to move on. And that Five of Pentacles, you know, 5 in biblical numerics means grace. He should have had the grace to discuss this with you and then possibly, you know, make at least this educated decision. I'm going to say it that way. But you know what the reality is, my darling? He needed to bounce. That's all it is. He just needed to bounce, and he was going to find that excuse because he didn't have enough. Now, he couldn't tell. That was the secret. That's the secret right here. He can't really tell his buddies exactly what he did. What did this do, really? Well, you see, the Ten of Wands, the tens are the last card in each suit before you get to the majors. The tens are always what lesson you learned, what you're bringing into the next phase, the next journey, the next chapter of your life. This is a very fiery card, beautiful as it is. But you see, she's got her back to us. And she's moving on because she's learned her lessons. And my darling, I believe that's going to be you. You've learned your lessons, and especially about someone coming into your life and only wanting to be there because they felt they didn't have to do that much to maintain that you would be the sole breadwinner. I'm just going to say that. Did they tell you up front that that's their idea? Of course not. No, they didn't. That's where this card comes from. But this Page of Cups is a card of announcements, and it's an emotional announcement. And I think when there was an announcement that things weren't working out, it was a very emotional time. Unfortunately, he wasn't forthright with you. That's the unfortunate part. So he couldn't tell his buddies. And that's you, my darling. You show up as the Queen of Clubs because you were the one handling everything. There is the Nine of Spades and the King of Clubs. This is him. This is him because he did want to live like a king. And you know what? You loved him enough that you were wanting to do that. However, he had a big imagination, and that's what he told his friends. He told them a total fabricated story because he couldn't tell them the truth. There were some secrets. And you'll find out about that because you were the giver, and he couldn't say that. He foolishly decided to embark on this new journey, but this card tells it all. This is a card that basically says he needed to curb his imagination a little bit. In fact, he was imagining so many things. Okay, he was imagining so many things that it almost was that he used it as an excuse against you because you know what? In his eyes, you were really not doing anything wrong except you just didn't want to be that sole breadwinner. You didn't want to be that person who was paying away. That was it. So what he told his friends about your breakup was total fabrication. And this 10 of Clubs tells us it was all about money. It wasn't that he didn't love you, didn't care about you. He did feel that you were his queen. He may have even said that to you. But that's the very, very unfortunate part. This is telling me a big financial story here. And it's not uncommon that this happens, and I'm very sorry that it happened to you. But you know what, darling? This is a card that basically says it won't happen again because there is a new king that will be coming forward for you in the very near future. He will not expect you to carry the financial load, the financial burden of life, because he will be a giver as well. And the two of you together will be really unstoppable, the king and the queen. And really, you will build your own little vampire, yes, and empire. No more energy vampires, is what I'm trying to say. You will build your own little empire, the king and queen of your own little lives. And what is more better than that? Will he try to come back? Yes. Yes. But it will be too late for you, my darling. It's funny because this may be the theme of this entire video, of the recognition that someone did wrong and needs to return. Recognize that what happened was very foolish. But for you, my darling, who has learned the lessons, that there was the initial idea and thought of having you hold the bag, of having you carry the weight financially, didn't work. And it didn't work for a reason. You know why? Because this was your guides, my darling, protecting you. You will be moving on. This beautiful new king will be coming in. And you won't forget the pain, but you'll know how to deal with it. Because the pain is what teaches us the lessons. And my darling, you definitely have learned. You've got a great future ahead of you. I don't want you to worry. Things will be working out, but you will get that closure. Yes, sorry. You'll get that closure, and he will be returning. And from there, you'll know that he knows that he was the fool. Darlings, thank you so much for visiting us today. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I hope that it helped bring you some closure. I want to thank you for visiting True Oracle. I'm going to leave a link here in the description, and you can visit us at trueoracle.com. If you would like a personal reading with me, there's links in the description as well. And we're just happy that you're here. Please do us a favor, like, subscribe, and do all those things for us. Won't you do that? And when we reach 4,000 subscribers, we're going to have a giveaway, and we would certainly love to have you there. Thanks again for watching True Oracle. I'm Lady Zelda, and I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.